And we are live. I'm here with Rebecca, and we're going to talk about love, sex, jealousy, and peace. So, Rebecca, you're a CFMW, which means you've taken quite a bit of access consciousness classes. Can you tell a little bit
Yes,
about yourself and what you do?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Annie, thank you so much for having me on to talk about love, sex, jealousy, and peace, because those are four of my favorite topics. And my background, a little bit of my background, I went to school for English, and as often happens to people, I got kind of blown sideways through life. I was trying to be a stand-up comedian, and I was working in the restaurant business when I started to get visions. My awareness, shall we say, expanded about people who were sick and what I could do to help them. And I started in that journey by going to a 4-year school for energy healers called the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. And many years later, let's see, when did I meet? I graduated from there in 1999, and I had a healing practice. And then fast forward to 2017, and I'm exchanging healings with one of the guys I went to school with, only he's now done access. And he says, maybe you'd like this bars thing I do. And he ran my bars, and it was like instantaneous relief, because I was having a hard time getting over a failed relationship. No, I won't say failed, a relationship that had come to an end, transitioned into something else, and I was grieving and I couldn't let it go. And the bars really shifted that for me. And that began my just deep dive into all things access, became a bars facilitator, as you said, took foundation, took choice of possibilities, which makes me a CFMW. And I'm really enjoying weaving and I guess I forgot to mention that in between healing school and access, I got very involved in my own personal journeys around sex and sexuality and my own sexual expression, which was not great. Honestly, I was in my mid-30s. I had 2 small children at home, and I would find myself laying there underneath my husband going, "Are you done yet?" And just began to realize how disconnected from my body's joy I was. So then I started researching how to expand my own sexual potential, and lived for 7 years within a school for relationships, communication, and sexuality called a Morehouse. And I weave all of those things into what I'm doing now, which is facilitating empowerment in the bedroom and beyond.
Wow, I love that. The bedroom and beyond. I think I need a little bit of facilitation with that, but that's not. Okay, this is a public, so.
We won't lay out all your secrets today, Annie.
Yeah, so, yeah, one of the things that popped was with sex, there's a lot of jealousy involved. It's kind of, and love. So it's all kind of intertwined. And do you find that in your facilitation?
What I find is that a lot of people have a lot of beliefs that they've inherited from their parents, from the culture, from religion. There are a lot of ways in which we're divorced from connection to our body, which quite frankly is the one that likes having sex. It's gotten very muddy. I have my own definition of sex. It's a little bit different but not very different from what Access talks about. I define it as a sacred energy exchange. So sex, in actuality, is that energetic exchange that you have with a person. But so many of us think when we think sex, we think part A goes into part B. We do think, because culture has taught us, that once you have sex with someone, they belong to you. And then a whole other set of expectations comes in. And there's also a lot of ideas around that you can only have sex with someone who loves you. You can only have sex, there's a lot of this sort of moral context that floats around that actually confines what a person can choose around how they express their sexuality. And the reason I say empowerment in the bedroom and beyond is because I find that how we do anything is how we do everything. And if we have so many judgments of ourselves in an area, and sex is about receiving too, right? So if we're not having good sex, we're not willing to receive. And if we're not willing to receive that thing, we're also not willing to receive lots of other things like money and attention and clients. So it's kind of amazing how what I found when I work with people, like if you can get beyond your limiting beliefs around sex, love, and jealousy, you can have so much more everywhere.
Yeah. And wow, this just brought up a little bit of stuff in me because sex is not really one of the things that I talked about in the past. And you're so open about it, and it's you just have this kind of invitation that we can talk about sex, and it's okay, and it should be normal.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel, thank you for seeing that. Yeah, it's true. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't expect to know how to play the piano without learning and practicing, right?
Yes.
But sex and relationship, that's one of those things we think we're supposed to be good at by default. And at the same time, we're blocking all of the awareness of what is lighting our body up or what might be possible in that arena. It's not a great combination for having fun. So yeah, you can talk about it. Maybe you don't want to talk about it with everyone. You got to pick your places, but it's absolutely a great conversation to have. And with your partner, it's a great conversation to have. Hey, would you be open to talking about what turns you on? Would you be open to hearing about what I discovered turns me on in my body?
Yeah. And it's really about that openness to communicate what works for you and your body and what works for your partner or whoever you're with
Right.
with their body.
Exactly. I mean, one of the big questions I get all the time is it normal that I like fill in the blank? And well, the first thing is that normal is only a setting on the washer. There's no normal in sexual expression. There's only what you like and making sure that you're with people who like that too.
Yeah. And bringing back to something that you mentioned in the beginning, you were talking about cultural expectations a little bit, like their point of views and how they shape how you actually express yourself sexually or, even begin to talk to your partner or whoever with sex and relationships and love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
can you talk about, like, maybe let's say the top three things that comes up for you, like during facilitation or what clients would speak about?
What clients ask me when they're facilitating? Well, yeah, let's see. Well, like I said, a lot of times they ask, is it normal that I like this? So I'll facilitate them. We'll get to the nub of um, what they think about sex. Sex is fill in the blank. Sex is dirty. Sex is something you do to make your husband happy. Sex is, and then all of those are just interesting points of view. They don't have to be what I call truth with a capital T. They don't have to be limitations unless we choose them. But the first step is recognizing what it is that you think, or what you secretly think. Sex is something to endure. All of the things we have about what men are. Men are horn dogs. Men want to take advantage of me. All of those things. Not feeling worthy is often a big one. Particularly for women who don't feel pretty enough or skinny enough or the right thing. And the truth is that all kinds of people like all kinds of body types. And finding the rightness of and enjoyment of your own body and your own beauty is so key to the kinds of people that you attract around you, I find.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
so tell me, I'm curious, what made you start this podcast?
So, um, I've been married for about 7 years, and one of the things I noticed was I had greatly diminished my sexualness, which is basically me like dressing up and like putting makeup on and wearing high heels and walking around and feeling great. And um, I was starting to hide, and I've
Hmm.
been hiding for the past, you know, I mean, I'm sure you've seen me at COP and other events, and you're like, I'm always wearing my black hoodie and I'm just like hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been such a big difference since the beginning of this year with Global Foundation. And I realized that I was actually operating from the distractor implants of love, sex, jealousy, and peace. So that's why I started um, talking with a whole bunch of facilitators, and it's just been opening up new avenues for me and then my audience. So it's been really cool so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So
My experience was that I had to give myself permission to become aware of what lit up my body. Because here's another sort of, I think, important message that I got. I was working on a client who um, she had some insecurity issues. She wanted to get pregnant. I was not touching her any place sexual, but she had an orgasm. And what I realized in that moment was that sexual arousal is the body's joy at feeling itself. And that energy that I had felt, experienced as healing energy, was actually life force. You know, and those of us who've done body process classes, we know that, right? That this energy of the cells, just all of your body just waking up. So that is arousal, and you can allow that. We think it gets turned on or lit up by different pictures or different people or a different kind of touch. But the truth is, we just decide to become aware of it and let it run. And we use those things as an excuse, a
so
justification for what we're choosing, as Gary always says, right? Everything is just a justification for what you choose. So what if having an orgasm isn't something anybody else gives you or does to you? It's your decision to have it.
yeah, wow. And what you're saying about it's like this energy that it's basically you being aware of your body and like so would it be like you being aware of your body and just enjoying your body and just allowing that energy to like be present?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And allowing myself to notice what did trigger it, and not judge myself for it. You know,
Okay.
be willing to say that, this thing turns me on. Um, and you mentioned jealousy. Um, I mean, I'd love to hear your take on it. We know that they're all distractor implants, right? The button gets pushed and suddenly we're in la la land and we can't respond. We can't think. We've gone into automatic pilot. Jealousy is definitely one of those situations, right?
Yeah,
Um,
like
hmm.
I've been noticing that with jealousy, there's a sense of like I wanted to control something and not allow it to change. So when I'm actually out of control about it and I'm allowing myself to, okay, yes, so I saw this person or that person and something, I don't know, it's all about stories too. So once I get into, yes, that's how I felt. is that mine? Oh, it's not mine. And there's
Mm.
this tool we use, like, who does it belong to? And return to sender. So I just return to sender. And then now I can tap into the gratitude of, oh, wow, yes, those people are really enjoying each other. And that's
Mm.
okay. And, if it's an energy that I like more of, I'd be like, okay, I'll have some of that.
Right. Yeah.
And it really shifts it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're talking about jealousy of maybe what another couple seems to have. Um, I had an interesting experience of jealousy with my former husband, which was we were in a class around sexuality, where you actually had to do sexual things with other people in the room. Um, I'm not going to get into it too deep, but it was manual stimulation. And I found that if my husband was making another woman happy, I felt proud. I did, because it was like, oh, he's mine and he's doing a good thing there, you know. But if I looked over and some other woman was providing him a pleasurable situation, then I got like all het up. I and the limiting belief at work there was um, pretty deep. If I'm not indispensable, I'm disposable. So there were ways in which I thought I had to be everything to my man, including the source of all of his pleasure, because if I wasn't, I was going to get cast aside. So that was like a whoa, okay, cool. Who does that belong to? Well, it's mine. Right, but then it was interesting point of view, and everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. And just like sifting through all of those things that were under it. But one of the other things that I have learned about jealousy is that we're not usually jealous of non-enjoyable things. So the formula for jealousy is turn on plus exclusion. So there's some fun happening, there's some life force flying, and we don't feel a part of it. So in addition to clearing anything that's coming up for us and clearing the distractor implant, we can just include ourselves. And that might look like just saying, wow, you guys have a really great relationship. Universe, I'll have some of that. Or it could be, I am such a great wife. I let my husband give this woman a shoulder rub and now she's really happy. I did that. I'm the queen, you know. Or asking him afterwards, how was that for you? Did you have fun? You know, allowing your partner to flirt with other people generally makes for a happy partner. And if you can take on that you've been the source of that, you can feel the joy of it too.
Yeah, I like that. It's then you can have joy from whatever your partner's doing and whatever other people are doing, and you don't have to exclude yourself. You don't have to exclude them. It's like including everybody in your
Right.
joy and being included in other people's joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a different world it would be.
It is. It is, because we generally feel like if they've got joy over there, that's their joy. That's not my joy too, and it's an illusion of separation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's so cool. And it's so needed right now.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Although, you know, I mean, Gary says love and peace are also distractor implants, right?
Yeah.
Um, Mostly because we have sort of, I just finished rereading The Utopian Ideal, where I feel like he talks about that a lot. You know, this idea that we have an ideal of what love is supposed to look like and feel like, and we have an ideal of what peace is going to look like and feel like.
I have it right
There it
here.
is! Yay! Show and
Keep
tell.
talking about.
Um, yeah, and so where are we locking ourselves into? You know, perfect love looks like this. It looks like my parents who were married for 50 years and never had a fight. So every time I have a fight with my partner, that means there's something wrong with my relationship, or me, or her, or him, or whatever. You know, we have to find somebody to make wrong in there, because it's not living up to. So what's possible if we let go of sort of our construct of what love is and what love isn't, and just come from a space of caring? Yeah, this also, oh, sorry.
Oh, and gratitude.
Yeah, love and caring and gratitude, right? I get excited, so cut me off if I'm talking too much.
No,
But
it's fine. I love it.
cool. Yeah, this idea, what was I going to say about, oh, love. Love is, and this is also like from my training in other things, that love is an intention, and it's demonstrated by our actions. You know, and that our actions, when we really see who someone is beyond our projections of who they should be or who they are or who we think they are, when we really listen to what they have to say, and when we have goodwill for them, regardless of who they're being, right? When we're not in judgment. I do get a lot of people coming to me. Oops. Did just my cam go out? Oh, there you go. I'm back.
Oh, no, it's
you know, a lot of people do come with this idea, particularly couples, that if I just fix if we can just get their partner fixed or changed somehow, everything will be better. And I did that myself. I went into lots of kind of couples coaching situations thinking they're just going to fix him and straighten him out, and then everything will be great. And lo and behold, they were usually talking to me. And particularly around my non-acceptance of who they really were. And if you think about it, it's not very caring or kind to tell a person that they have to be anything other than who they are in order to earn your love and be loved by you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All the ways in which we're trying to control other people so that we can feel lovable. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, some of the facilitators have been using the clearing statement. So,
Say that again?
I was just saying that some of the other facilitators have been using the clearing statements during the talks.
Oh, good.
So,
in other words, I'm allowed to do clearings. Awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you made vital, valuable, and real about doing sex the way other people do sex? And everything that is, will you destroy and create it all, right? Good and bad, right and wrong, talk, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And for anyone who's new to Access Consciousness, there's a explanation and a video by Dr. Dean here on theclearingstatement.com. I'll just leave that on for a couple seconds.
Yep. I mean, in all of the years, so I've been in sort of personal growth industry since 1990. And so that's 30 years. And I really do find that access bars and the clearing statement, those tools combined, are some of the quickest way to shifting I've ever seen. Completely amazing. You know, and there's lots of other tools too, but you know, that who does it belong to that you talked about before, and yeah, just being willing to ask, like, who does this belong to, me or someone else? Oh, it's me. I really think that that's true. And then being willing to shift it by using the crazy phrase, right? So we bring up a thought like, I'm too old to get a man. I'm too old to get a man. I'm too old to get a man. Oh, interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. That's the crazy phrase, right? Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. I mean, one of my favorite things to tell people is that if I were in Samoa right now, nobody would want to marry me because I'm too skinny. That every body type, every size, every shape has been the utopian ideal body type at some time throughout history or at some place in the world. So it's up to you. You can continue to choose to judge your sweet body, or you can like look at it and love on it and clear all the judgments you have of it
Enjoy
and
it.
enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, how can you expect somebody else to want to have sex with you if you don't want to have sex with you?
Yeah, that actually came up during one of the other talks. It's like when you enjoy yourself, then other people can enjoy you more also.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so cool.
Yeah. So
Um,
you've been married for 7 years, and you have 3 little boys in that time, right?
yes.
Yeah, it's amazing you have time for sex.
I don't think we do. So that's like yeah. So actually, can you talk about a class or the program you have coming up? Because that was actually when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is kind of really cool
Oh,
sounding.
cool. Thank you for asking. I would love to tell you I'm teaching a class called Right Sex Life for You. It starts on Monday, and we're going to get on Zoom once a day for, I have no idea, 45 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on what comes up, what people want to explore. And it's going to be a combination of access tools, clearing anything that you've got in the way of being aware of what your body wants, being aware of your judgments of right sex, wrong sex, the sex that lights you up. And then there's also, I'm going to be talking about once we figure out what lights you up, how do you get there? You know, how do you make the time for sex when you have kids at home? How do you make intimacy, physical intimacy, a priority in your life? How do you schedule it in? Want to try something kinky like spanking? I got you covered. So we'll talk about different techniques. Number one thing is that sex is supposed to be fun, people. So how can we make it playful? How can we present to what's now? Letting go of like the awesome sex we had when we were 20 and we had no kids, to approach what's possible now, what's really fun about what we're doing, and where do we want our future? What future are we looking towards? What can we create together? How do you allow yourself to have multiple partners? How do you let go of religious restrictions? Like all this is stuff we're going to explore. And we have the Facebook group, and we have home play. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. So let me just if you want to check it out, you can go to thepleasureevolution.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's Rebecca's.
You also, I think after this shows up, we'll also put the link for Right Sex Life for You. The event is on Facebook. So you can also read all about it there and join us on Monday. And of course, all the calls will be recorded. So if you can't make one live, they're at noon Eastern time. You'll be able to access them and get caught up whenever you like.
Cool.
I also see people individually and couples over webcam, and I'm located outside of Tampa, Florida. So we're starting to open back up to being able to see people in person, and
Oh wow, that's great.
yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach my first bars class in a while, the end of this month, in person. So
That's exciting.
Yes, yes. Clean hands and face masks. So,
So, before we go, let's. Is there anything that you wanna like one last thing that you wanna leave the audience with?
oh boy. Um, yeah. I really believe that when you follow what lights you up, that's why my business is called Pleasure Evolution. Because when you follow what turns you on and lights you up, you can change the planet. And so my slogan is don't do anything you don't want to do and do what gets your panties wet. So, Dane has written a brilliant book, Being You, Changing the World. That means being you everywhere, everywhere. And if I can be of any support to you in being you in the bedroom, and I got my YouTube channel is Pleasure Evolution TV. I have a Pleasure Evolution group on Facebook. You can find me on the website. I have a free ebook that you can download called the Sexual Authenticity Handbook. Own Your Pleasure, Find Your Power, a 5-step system for finding your sexual authenticity. So there's I've got so many resources and tools that you can begin to play with. Just to love on and beam and be all of you in this very tender area too.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and thank you for everything that you've shared. Guys, if you're interested in this class, which sounds like it's not one that you'd like to miss, go then here, pleasureevolution.com, and we'll post the link to the event in the comments below. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for you asking me to be on. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. So, bye
Mhm.
everyone.
Bye.